Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I did a Consecrated Strikes guide, and I want to do a follow-up and just show the guys, maybe that are following the guide, how they're going to forward some of their enchantments. I figured it out the other day, and it's probably close to about 1,500 gold if you're going for optimal enchant. So I want to take the opportunity to put a video out, and it's something that I really enjoy. I've always, all my time in WoW, I've always enjoyed playing the economy, playing the auction house, and I really like to find kind of like zen, chill locations to go and farm. And so I'm going to show you guys a couple of places I farmed today. And we're going to start with the basics. I want to talk about the two add-ons I use, and I'll leave a link in the description to the Google Doc, the Google Spreadsheet that has a link to the add-ons I use. I had to hunt around. I finally found Auctionator, and it works on Ascension. And also I use ELVUI for some of its functionality. It's not my favorite add-on, but it's got an auto sort on the bag, and I like that. So right off the bat, we'll go to the auction house. If you use an auctionator, what you can do, you can use the buy window, and the native WoW UI is going to filter by the bid price. This is going to filter by the buyout price only, and so you can avoid traps where people will post a lot of items at a really high price compared to their peers, and while putting a low bid price. What that'll do is that'll push all their auctions to the very front of the line, right? So with Auctionator, you don't have to worry about that. If you want to get postage experience, you'll know, hey, I'm jumping in here and I'm getting the best price currently. It'll help for some of the other items too that people post, like you won't get scammed if you're a hunter, you know, and people post single arrows, because what it's going to do is it's going to show you the price per item. Or like Bazaar tokens, it's nice. I can't recommend using Bazaar tokens. If I've ever bought a Bazaar token, I've probably lost money. But people post in really weird stacks at all kinds of different prices. This will filter by the cheapest, and it'll also let you see, hey, if you just want to jump in and buy like 200. So that's Auctionator. It's going to help a lot. Then we have ELVUI. Like I say, it's got a couple of different functionalities we'll cover. We're going to head out. We're going to leave Gigaton, leave the auction house behind. We've got to find some things to throw on the auction house. So I'm going way back. This is when I first started playing in Wrath. Wrath of the Lich King was the first time I played World of Warcraft, and I was poor. And one of the things that I wound up doing to farm gold is I came here to Daenerys, and it's still with me. I still like this. We're going to farm for some golden pearls in Land's End Beach. And so it's the very end of the world. We'll run out here to the water. The scroll of, I think it's Golgoleth, the increased swim speed, makes this a much more palatable farm on Ascension. You can get there a lot faster. And so there's a few things that we can buy from the store for DP. I'll talk briefly about DP. So DP is like donation points. People donate cash for the server, and as a result, there's certain things they can buy. Some of those are convenience items, and they're really, really handy for farming gold. So it's going to be things like bigger bags, journeyman riding, have a loot pet, so it'll auto loot for you when you're running around. And so that's really big. And so a person that donates to Ascension, and they help keep the servers running, they help pay for, that income goes to pay for game masters and all that stuff. So as a result, they can buy these items, but those guys, when they buy them, oftentimes they need gold, and so they'll sell them to us for gold. When you want to get an item that sells for DP, I recommend trying to find it on sale. So you can go to the shop, go to the Ascension website, and go to the shop, pick the server you're on, and every day it'll reset. And just see when an item that you want is on sale, you'll get it for up to like 50% off. On that day, check and see what the DP is. So like, say Stone Retreat Getson, which is nice for this farm. It's normally 15. On sale, it's normally about I think 11 normally. It'll go to about 11 DP. So when I bought mine, I bought it off the auction house. I didn't know. And so I thought, I'm paying 700 gold. This is great. It's going to help my farm a lot. But I was just starting out. I was really trying to min-max this farm. This is how I started in Ascension. This is what I started doing, is farming these turtles here. But I was buying the cosmetic or the DP items, right? But I was buying them off the auction house, and I was really overpaying. So you'll want to bark and trade and just if you know somebody in your guild or somebody that sells DP, that's awesome. I don't. I bark and trade. I'll start normally at like 30 gold. I'll say, hey, I want to buy. If I wanted to buy the stone tree, I'd say, hey, I want to buy 11 DP, offering 30 gold, and then I'll slowly move it up. I don't want to sound desperate, right? I don't want to just keep spamming over and over. But if I got a little time to kill, I'm posting some auctions. I'll just slowly start at 30, and then I'll offer. 31, 32, somewhere, definitely by the time I'm around 35, at least at the time of this recording, I'll get somebody that wants to sell for that price. Over time, the price is going to go up on DP. There's sort of like an inflation that happens, and we're going to be the cause of some of that inflation because the farm that we're going to do here is going to generate raw gold, and so we're going to actually dump in raw gold into the economy with this farm. That's one of the reasons I like this farm, is because although there's items that we can sell in the auction house, we're also going to be guaranteed a little payout every time we do this run. So you can use DP to get some things that are going to help you. You don't have to actually donate. You can use it. You can use your gold in the game. We'll come down here. We're going to kill turtles. I don't recommend doing this at high risk until you can fail commendate your gear. Now, that's the little vendor that's going to make it so that instead of dropping your gear on death and high risk, instead you drop gold. So I've almost never see anybody down here. Occasionally I might see a bot, rarely. But most of the time this is a place I've had to complete them myself. And so this is where I came. If you run it on high risk, once you can run it on high risk, you're going to find the densities a little bit better for turtles. And then they're going to be able to drop... depending on what your item level is, there's a treasure hunter buff, and I think right now it's like 71 to get the AQ40 gear. Okay, and so AQ40 items will drop Bloodforge for you, and they can be really, really valuable. And there's still things that are out of like Blackwing Lair that'll drop. It'll be a random pool of all the dungeons, right? And you just have to have a high enough item level. You can check. You'll see my little buff bar. I have what looks like a little buff that looks like the mount out of AQ40. That's the Treasure Hunter AQ40 buff. And so I'll be able to get potentially AQ40 gear. Now in this run I don't get any AQ40 gear, but I can tell you, like, when in a couple weeks when Nax comes out, this will be really great because Might and Minithel and things that drop in Naxxramas, they'll be able to drop here if your item level is high enough. And so that's what I did when I was first starting out. Blackwing Lair had just popped, and I came down here and I farmed. And I farmed way more than probably is healthy. But I wasn't raiding. I had just started playing, and I didn't have gold. So I didn't have things like journeyman riding and stuff, and I wanted to finance that. And this is like the first farm that I thought of that, from my experience, in retail, that's one of the first places I thought, I need to come check this out. It was a good farm in Wrath. Being that you can get the Bloodforged Epics, it makes this an insane farm. But one of the things we're farming here for is going to be pearls. We're going to open the clams, and we're going to try to get pearls. About every other run, I get a golden pearl. That's anywhere from, like, normally it's somewhere from like 40 to 100 gold. And you'll notice occasionally people will bark and trade, and they'll say, hey, somebody sell golden pearls. Well, anytime you're trying to do a farm to make gold, if you've got buyers that are wanting the items so bad that they'll yell and trade, hey, somebody sell me this, okay? You know you're going to make good money, right? That's definitely a time that you're going to be able to sell your wares and get some cash in hand. But there's, like I said, there's several angles or several aspects of this farm that are great. So not only are we farming for the golden pearls, I get one about every other run. That's a little bonus on top. But then we're also getting all the blues, the greens, and then if we're doing it in high risk, we're also getting the epics. And so when you first start, you can sell the blues. They'll have REs. So when I say sell on the auction house, right, to other players. They'll have valuable REs on that people want. And so instead of vending for 2 gold, you may just throw it up and for 20 gold, right? Here's a feature I really like. This is the ELVUI. This is why I went with ELVUI. It was the only way I could find to get a auto sort feature, which comes in so handy trying to clean these scaly tails out, right? I throw the scaly tails away. They don't sell for hardly anything. just below here, the speckled turtle shells, the black ones, they're going to stay in my inventory because they vendor for around 10 silver a piece, and they stack to 5. So it's about a half a gold per stack there. So I really like that. But like I say, you can, when you first start, you can take the blue items if they have valuable REs on them, and you can sell them and get more than you would if you vendor them. If you do it a lot, and I did a lot, eventually I get to the point where I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to go straight to the vendor, and I'm gonna sell them out. This is a fun farm for me. I like it. I like to raid as well. So but right now, I always pug. I'm just a pug guy. I always pug. Up to Ascendant raids, that's what I do. But Ascendant raids have been a little bit slacking. Like the pugs have been slow because I'm told AQ40 is not great for 25 man, and so a lot of people are just pugging with their guilds, which is fine. I fall back and farm gold. I got gold capped in Cataclysm. I started in Wrath, and I got gold capped in Cataclysm. I love the economy side of it. You know, like I like the theory crafting. Like what is money? You know, this trade for goods and services. What do people value? What, you know, and how can I? And I guess I'm lucky because I'm wired in such a way that not only do I enjoy the theoretical side of the economy, but like I have this streak in me that I like to go out and grind. You know, I play one of the other games I play is Path of Exile, and for a long time, like I'll go out and just grind. I'll farm. I'll find like things that I want that are going to take a long time to get, and I'll just slowly, methodically work to get that. And so in World of Warcraft, it's been gold capped for me. In retail, I don't have the plans to get gold capped here. It's a temporary server. I'm not going to push it that hard, but I did have, like I said, I put out the Concentrate Guide, and I wanted people that followed it to at least have a way to pay for their enchants. And you know, I would say more than build guide, even with having a guide out, like more than getting asked in game, like what's better, Rockbiter or Frostbound weapon, or you know, instead of questions like that, more than anything I get asked in the game is how do I make gold? And so I want to put this video out. I cropped it way back. It was going to be much longer. So here's another function that ELVUI does well. I like it. I can set it up to auto vendor grays, and so you're going to see when I open the window, it's just going to automatically sell the grays, and that's great. We'll check the clams and see what we get. Like I said, about every other run, I'm going to snag a golden pearl. Here, I'll put it on my scroll wheel. I'll just drop the item on my mouse scroll wheel, and then I can just open them up really quick. So I get lucky here. I get a golden pearl. I get a couple of black pearls. The golden pearl here is going to sell for, I think, 44. I'm in edit now, so I already know. It's going to sell for like 44 gold. The black pearls sell for a couple gold, which is pretty good. When I did it a lot, I crashed the value of the black pearls, and I was stupid. They were selling for so low before I got done that I was just start vendoring them. And I wish I had known that occasionally you can have a delicate situation call board quest that requires black pearls. That would have been that I would have made a lot more than just vendoring those black pearls. So keep them. Even if they're selling dirt cheap, you can throw them in the bank. They stack really high. They don't take up much space. And if it's a delicate situation, black pearl, you'll make a ton of money. You can see a lockbox there. I saved lockboxes for a really long time, expecting that I was going to be, you know, like super wealthy, you know. And when I opened them all up, and I went ahead and opened them all up, and it took forever, and I got garbage. And so I don't even open them anymore. Now here I'm just going to vendor all the greens and the blues. I'll keep one or two blues if I feel like they have either if it's just a stellar blue that somebody might really want. Say I got a rare Heart of Worms black or something, I'll sell that. I know it's going to sell for a little. Okay, but if it's got a good RE on it, I'll keep it, and I might throw it up for like 20 gold and just see. I have another way to sell stuff that's involved with REs, and we'll cover that next. And it's going to cost a lot less for deposit fees. That's the risk when you're posting the blues. You're going to have higher deposit fees. The best bet there is I would just not go crazy. Try to sell them for 10 gold, right? seven gold, something like that. Something that's low enough that you know you're going to get a sell, and you're not going to lose your deposit fees. This is Auctionator. It's really nice. I can just drop the item in the window. If it's got similar items up, it's going to help me price it lower than the next guy, and that saves so much time versus having to use the native UI for this. And then what's nice too, when I go sell I wound up getting 5 epics on this run. I didn't get anything out of AQ40, but that's fine. I get 5 epics. The Zandalari ones are always going to sell for a lot less because they don't disenchant, so people can't try to disenchant them and get the high risk enchanting. Can't remember the name of it, but there's a high risk enchanting mat that you can disenchant out of some of these epics, but the ones from Zandalari don't. So they always sell for less. I'll throw it up for 10 gold, and that's fine. And normally I'm going to pull three to five epics. And so that's a nice little boost. When you're pricing them, though, let's say I have like Jom Gabar Brilliance and there's none up, Auctionator won't know what to do. I will go into a search and I will type in Jom Gabar, but I won't type in the suffix of Brilliance. I'll see, okay, look, the cheapest one's 300. I don't think there's good synergy with the Brilliance, so I'll post it for 275. And then Auctionator's going to remember the next time I go to post, and it'll try to get me to sell for 275. Instead, I could just say, oh, I want to sell for 250 now, and just keep grinding it down. So swapping over to Trinkets, you're going to need Mystic Extracts, okay? And you get them by reforging items. This is going to cost you 1 Mystic Ruin, and you'll get those when you're raiding and prestiging and stuff. So what I used to do is I would just throw an item in and I would spam it over and over until I got a level. Every time you level up at the very top of the altar window, you'll see what your current level is. And every time you level up, you'll get a Mystic Extract. So I would just spam the same thing over and over, burning through Mystic Ruins and to get the Mystic Extract. And that's fine if that's all I wanted, but if I want to make gold while I'm doing it, I can just go to the vendor and buy these trinkets. They're like 40 or 50 silver a piece. They're really cheap. And then I will just keep re-rolling them until I get a epic or I get a rare or a legendary random enchant on it. And then I'll move to the next one and I'll keep rolling. If I get a green, I'm probably going to roll over it. Some of them might sell. A hasty or a brutal might sell. I can tell you for sure if it's subtle, it'll never ever sell. Subtle's just nobody cares about reducing their threats. At least nobody cares on their RE slot. So I can promise you subtle will never sell. But this is what I would do, and I would go grab some trinkets, and while I'm getting my Mystic Extract, I'm just going to keep re-rolling this. A word to the wise. Okay, one thing: monitor how many Mystic Ruins you got. Don't let yourself get to where you're at your last Mystic Ruin, and keep going. It'll start charging you gold, so you can lose a lot of gold if you're not paying attention and not mindful of that. I always keep a nice buffer. I would probably just check before I bought the trinkets that I was going to enchant, and that could be a way to kind of, hey, I'm really low. I've got 20 left. I'm not even going to try it out. I'll do this tomorrow when I have 100, right? The other thing is when you buy those low-level trinkets, they sell identical trinkets that are high-level, and they sell for something like 17 gold a piece. I once burned about 300 gold at the vendor buying the wrong trinket. And so don't do that. I don't know. Don't daydream while you're buying your base trinkets, okay? But that's what I would do with trinkets, and it's passive. It's a very passive way to make gold. Next up, the next thing I want to do, I want to cover a dungeon that I like to do. I was going to cover a bunch. This video got scaled way back. I don't want to say I was over ambitious, but I was really excited, and it was obvious to me that it was going to be a multi-hour video. So we scaled it back. I just covered Gnomeregan. I wanted to make this an introduction video. I want to talk about like how to get your DP, how to get your the best prices on things like the big bags, because big bags are huge. I want to cover that. I want to cover the add-ons that I use. I want to cover the gold farm on the turtles because I think it's great. And I want to cover trinkets, and then I want to cover a dungeon. I just want to cover several, but I'm going Gnomeregan. I just wanted to show several ways that people can make gold so that there's not as much competition. But I'll come into Gnomeregan. If you're Alliance, You can use the mailbox here in this room, okay? And that's really nice because you're going to get tons and tons of like greens and stuff. And so you can just clear your inventory. Now, there in this room, though, I'm Horde, but in this room, there's the Sparkle-matic. And you can take a Grime-Encrusted Object, pay 3 silver, it'll wash it. I'm going to put a link to an ad. I'm not using it during the recording, but I have a macro for this that'll make it where you just click a couple of times and you'll be through the sequence. It's going to give you moss agates, it's going to give you silver ore, it's going to give you coarse stone, and occasionally the Gnomeregan amulets, which have random enchantments on them, and they can be disenchanted if you're an enchanter. I think for 3 silver you get good bang for your buck, but it's something you want to do if you farm this over and over again. Now, as Horde, you'll go and talk to, I think it's Savik in the Engineering Quarter, and you can get a quest called Engineer Scotty, and you're going to go to the Gnome Engineer at the Transponder in Booty Bay. He will give you a quest, and he's going to give you a transponder. You'll then be able to port directly from Booty Bay into Gnomeregan, or right into the entrance of Gnomeregan, whereas if you're Alliance, you're going to be able to get the... take the tram and you'll be close and you'll come in a different entrance. But this is a little bit nostalgic. I like it. So if you're Horde, you're also going to be able to pick up a potentially off the Dark Iron what are they called? They're called the Dark Iron agents, I believe, here right before the boss. They'll drop a quest item called a Grime-Encrusted ring. You'll go back to the Sparkle-matic and you'll wash it. It's going to give you a follow-up quest to go see Nog the Engineer in Orgrimmar. He's right where Savik is at the Engineer Quarter, right? And so, or in the Engineer Building, right? And so you'll talk to him and he'll give you a follow-up quest. And as part of the quest, he's going to give you a brilliant gold ring. It's not got a level requirement. It is a eye level 31. It has 4 stamina and 4 spirit. It's great for a low-level leveling. Like you can have that at level 1. When you prestige, it's really nice. So what you'll do though is, because it's a part of a quest item, and the when you prestige, your quest log is cleared, take the brilliant ring and mail it to an alt, then return it after you've prestiged. You'll be able to keep your brilliant golden ring, and now you have a really nice leveling ring that you can always keep. So if nothing else from the video, you got that. The reason Gnomeregan, so why I farm Gnomeregan is not as profitable as it was when I played in Wrath. Like I said, but that was in Wrath, and it was old world mats, right? These aren't technically old world mats for us. But also people don't need as much here, like of copper ore and things like that for leveling, because they'll buy the tradesman scrolls for DP, which is fine. Okay. But in here you get fused wirings, and the only portable vendor you can get in the game is the field repair bot. And so you can make those with fused wirings. I can never buy enough for low enough price to use them in like the turtle form, because I would love that. I wouldn't have to leave the beach. I would just throw down repair bots. All right. So when I come here, like on this run, I'm going to wind up with like 5 fused wirings. This is a partial run. That's insane. That's a lot of fused wirings. Normally I'm averaging 5 for a full clear when I do a full run. They'll sell somewhere between like 15 to 20 gold a piece, because people want them they want the repair bots when they do mythics and stuff. If you have your gear break in the middle of a mythic and the run's over, it's certainly worth the 40 gold that it would cost for like the 2 fused wirings to have a loot bot. If I could get them cheap, every once in a while I'll see them for like 5 gold on the auction house, then I would use them all the time, like with a turtle farm. I'd use them all over the place, right? A vendor you could just carry around with you would be awesome. So that's another reason I farm the area. I get my own fused wirings here. I can make and sell the repair bots if I want to. And like I say, there's just not enough supply on the market. So that's the kind of thing that's really nice. If there's more supply than there is demand, then you can always turn a little profit. But that's what I do. I go in there. I'll wash the Grime-Encrusted objects. It may not be the most gold per hour, but I do it. It's something I do. Now, what was nice is when I recorded this, it was the wool cloth daily, and so wool cloth had gone up to like 2 gold a piece. And so that's really good. That's really good. And that's what makes Gnomeregan worthwhile, is you're going to get a lot of silk and you're going to get a lot of wool. If you just hold on to it, you can use the one of those DP items I was showing, which is the personal bank vault. Okay, and once you have it, all your alts can use it. So you can use several of your alts for warehousing, like say wool cloth, and then when it is the daily, you can sell it for a premium. If you were really enterprising, you could maybe even buy out when it's really cheap and then sell when the daily pops up. And that's up to you. If you do that, I mean, there's bigger money to be made doing stuff like that than there is actually going out in the world and farming. But all the farms I like stuff that I can just like let my mind unwind, that's kind of zen, kind of relaxed, and just sort of, you know, if I'm working on a new build or something, I can just relax. A couple of things from the store that I would say are really good, like in Gnomeregan especially, you get so many greens, you get so many items. If you do a full clear, you're not going to be able to hold them all. So like the personal bank pet, you can open up your bank and dump stuff in there. The personal bank vault can, same thing, you can open it up, and however many tabs you got, if you got them empty, that can be a dump. The gnomish or the post tube, you can drop stuff with that. And so those are things that they're not mandatory, but you can definitely add them to your repertoire, add them to your farming, and they will help, right? And you can finance them by doing the farming. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you liked it, drop a like. I'm probably going to make this a series, and we'll be adding in more stuff. Thank you very much.